Hey everybody, SpongeBob SquarePants.
Oh man.
Our grand return, right? A better way.
Yeah. Alright, so backstory. SpongeBob is one of my favorite cartoons, specifically the earlier seasons, and Battle for Bikini Bottom is one of my favorite games ever. It's such a fun, well-designed 3D platformer that handles the SpongeBob IP very well, and this is a remake of that game that I honestly have mixed feelings on, but I chose to record it for this because I think it looks better. Also, I don't know what I'm going to do about this part, because that is definitely copyrighted audio right there.
I was about to say, hopefully Viacom doesn't copyright strike this.
I might make my own SpongeBob remix.
Jeez.
You know what? Yeah, I'm going to do that. Very hear terrible singing in the background.
Oh.
Jeez.
Okay, so one of the issues I have with this remake is you can see textures load in on screen every time a new area loads, and it's distracting. I am using a mod found on Game Banana, which I'll post in the description, that helps with that if you're playing on an SSD, but doesn't fix the issue. It's annoying.
Even with an SSD, it can't load it quick enough?
Yeah, this game obviously lacks a lot of polish in certain areas, and I'll point it out. That's the main reason why I prefer the original. It's just more polished. Here, there's a bunch of jank, and it just kind of ruins a lot of the appeal of the original. Overall, it's still a good remake. There's a lot of benefits to this version over the original too, but I have issues, is all I'm saying. Anyway, the story here is Plankton made a bunch... yeah. Plankton is making a bunch of robots with the intent on stealing the Krabby Patty formula, because that's his thing, and he forgot to turn the obey switch on.
Yep.
My good China!
Honestly, I do like this book, but it really is like a SpongeBob episode.
Oh yeah, this feels very much like a SpongeBob episode.
Yes, SpongeBob episode. Agreed.
Jacob, why don't we talk about your in-depth history with SpongeBob?
I've seen the movie twice. I think
Because of me.
well, yeah, once with you, and then once when I was like 8 on those portable DVD players. Yeah, it was okay. It's okay movie.
Only okay?
It was okay. David Hasselhoff carries the movie for me.
Valid.
Yeah, it's just I missed this wave during my childhood. So
Get it? Wave?
everyone else who's between the age of like 16 and 25 did not miss that wave though.
Get it? I got your reference, Jacob. 25. Very
Oh yeah, exactly. I don't know what that means.
I won't tell you.
That's okay.
Because I'm sure you already know.
Jeez.
Okay, so what's happening here is SpongeBob and Patrick are playing robots and racehorses, you know, as you do. And SpongeBob decided he wanted the robots to be real, and Patrick pulled out his magic wishing shell, which surprisingly isn't the magic conch shell, and he's convinced that it'll work for whatever reason. And as we'll see soon, it kind of does. Not really, but kind of. It's the best day ever.
Of course, Tom Kenny is always a good.
Yeah, they got most of the voices from the show. Most. You will see who they didn't get very soon if you don't already know.
Your bikini bottom stinks.
Even the game has sexual innuendos. Guys, I have a story. There's one episode of the show where SpongeBob says, "Patrick, your genius is showing," and Patrick covers his crotch and says, "Where?" When I was a kid, I quoted that in public, except I didn't say geniuses. I said penis.
Oh my god.
And then there was a very disturbed mother nearby.
Oh my. How old were you?
I don't know. I don't remember this. This is a story my brother told me happened, and I don't know. It sounds like young me.
Okay.
I believe him.
Jeez, Brendan.
Totally see you doing anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, it sounds like young me.
Sounds like today you.
It does, honestly. Okay, so remember how I said they didn't get every voice actor? Get prepared for imitation Krabs.
Why does SpongeBob know that Krabs is sweaty all the time? Why does he know that?
What?
Yeah.
What I want to know is why is the typewriter talking? Why didn't they make it a phone? It's so weird.
They weren't typing either. It's just like there.
I honestly didn't realize how weird this was until like maybe a year ago when I watched a review that pointed it out, and I thought,
Huh.
yeah, why did I never think of
It's like
that?
they didn't have an asset for it. It was just like, alright, well, it's the closest
Actually,
thing.
I think the typewriter, that's the only time a typewriter appears, so no, they chose to make the typewriter talk.
Oh. Then I don't know.
Oh, by the way, I focus on that because, that's not SpongeBob. That's a picture of a random guy that just happens to look like SpongeBob. And it's freaky that SpongeBob has a picture of him. That's really weird, right? Okay, that's one part I'm talking about when I say this game isn't as polished as the original. The original, those platforms fell in a very cartoony way. Every block fell individually, and it was cool. There, they just kind of like gently float down all together, and it's so lame.
It's just not the same.
There's a bunch of small stuff like that. I mean, there's other big improvements, like the camera, it actually functions like the way you would think. The original game, the camera was weird. If you tried aiming it up or down, it would just go directly up or down. It was wrong. I didn't like that. There's other benefits, like you can attack in the air. You could do that in the original with some attacks, like SpongeBob's Bubble Wand, but I think that might have been it. But here, no, it's every attack, and it makes him feel a lot better. So there are improvements. But I can't get past the lack of polish. I love the realistic
I
fish
know.
shot.
Like, very fancy fish, too.
So much for fixing this quietly.
This was always one of my favorite characters when I was a kid. Was the newscaster.
I think he has a real name. I think I remember finding this when I was making my original review for this game, and it blew my mind. I'll put the name on screen right now. Tragically, we're sure.
Yeah, because he always says something like that. It's like,
Great Barrier Reef. Yeah, I like his voice.
Nice.
So that was the tutorial.
I always love the cartoon joke where they literally just have a closet full of the same.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that.
There's nothing like the sounds of your own neighborhood.
They got the narrator. That's so cool. I know the narrator is just Tom Kenny, which they obviously have for SpongeBob, but Revenge of the Flying Dutchman for some reason had a narrator, but it was like not the narrator, it was some other guy, and that confused me deeply as a child, so I have to appreciate the fact they, got the right voice.
Right.
Anyway, you go, Dylan.
I was just saying, thinking about it now, like, thinking about, like, my favorite episodes as a kid. I always like the episodes between, like, Plankton and SpongeBob. They're always some of my favorite episodes.
Yeah, I agree that they have a really good dynamic. One of my favorite episodes from season 1 specifically is Plankton's introduction one, just called Plankton. I mostly like it for that one part where SpongeBob calls Squidward a mediocre clarinet player after busting through his wall because Plankton's controlling him. And also that one gag, this is my lab, and it shows a dog, and this is my laboratory.
Alright, that's clever.
Bubble Buddy!
Ooh.
It's Bubble Buddy! From the Leif Erikson Day episode.
Wow,
There you go.
I'm so lost.
You're so behind on all the SpongeBob.
You're gonna
lore.
hear that a lot in this playthrough.
Okay.
So you guys
so,
like, oh yeah, it's that thing. And I'm like, I don't
So,
know what that is.
So I'll update you on SpongeBob lore right now.
Okay.
All of SpongeBob's friends were busy, so he just blew a bubble in the shape of a person and called him Bubble Buddy. The whole episode treats him just as an inanimate object, and that's it. There's even a part where a guy is buried in the sand at the beach, and the waves are coming in, and then it's heavily implied Bubble Buddy just kind of watched him as he drowned. But then it's later revealed that Bubble Buddy is like a real living being at the end of the episode. So yeah, he just watched the man die and did nothing.
Jeez.
Sure thing, Patrick. What are best friends for?
Okay then, for every So the socks, they're the blue coins from Mario Sunshine. Basically, every 10 you get a golden spatula. They're not nearly as offensive though. There's a few obscure ones, but most of them you can find on your own. There's also not nearly as many of them. There's 80 instead of 240.
Okay.
And how many each level has depends. Some levels have like 3, others have as many as like 12.
I do like that he says you eat golden spatula and Patrick says bless you.
Okay, this is one of my favorite gags in the game coming up. Squidward just tells him to jump around like an idiot at the end, and that's just an actual golden spatula.
I am so sorry, Squidward. Patrick and I were just playing a game and...
Why does Squidward have the painting of those two?
I know. Very flattering.
That's actually in the show, by the way, so there's like some lore there.
Oh.
Is that like his adoptive parents or something?
Maybe.
Is that why he's such an angry squid?
Excuse me?
Oh,
Octopus?
okay, sorry.
How dare you?
I didn't know Squidward had a lamp. I didn't know Squidward
You said
had
that
a
twice.
He's jumping around. Okay.
Yeah, you said jump around like an idiot.
Oh,
That should at least
okay.
make me smile. And that's an actual golden spatula. I love that.
Oh. That's funny.
See, Squidward? I knew that you could help me out. You're the
I don't think this game is
Don't
nearly
touch
as
me.
funny. I don't think this game is nearly as funny as the show generally, but there's a few really good gags. That's one of them. Also, now I gotta destroy everything he owns.
Poor Squidward.
Handsome Squidward on the wall right there. And yeah, you get a sock for doing that.
He's not even phased by this. It's the best part.
I know. Like it's happened
He's used
before.
to it. Everything broke really easily. Maybe he pulls out like fake styrofoam stuff to, you know, so SpongeBob thinks to destroy
Right.
everything he owns. He's just used to it.
You're
He's
just-
prepared.
I don't know why I bother. I might as well just let you destroy everything anyway.
No more.
Okay, so here, because you're gullible, because so Mr. Krabs, the way he works in this game is every X amount of shiny objects, which are those little flower things I've been collecting, you can get a golden spatula from Mr. Krabs. Again, he has 8 total. I don't know how many shiny objects are required. It's a lot. It used to be a lot more before it was updated. I don't know why. But honestly, you're probably going to have to grind to get all of them. It's not a quest I enjoy. And this is 100% playthrough, by the way. I've never not 100% this game. Just running in circles.
Like I obviously didn't grow up with the show, but I do think it, even when standard definition, it looks really colorful and just lively.
Feel like a new spot.
I like the look of it.
So you're supposed to use that button to spawn a platform, but you can just do that. Okay, one detail they missed. In the original game, there was a hatch on top of SpongeBob's pineapple, which is a reference to a couple episodes that had it, like the episode Jellyfish Jam. And that's such a small detail I always enjoyed that they kept, but yeah, missing in this. Lame. But yeah, on to what you said, Jacob. Yeah, they intentionally made this game a lot more vibrant compared to the original.
Okay.
Because the new episodes of the show are, in general, far more vibrant than they used to be, so yeah. And actually, I like it. Like,
That's
poor
a weird
Squidward.
cut.
Um,
This really happy-go-lucky little field, and just Squidward screaming.
I love this cutscene so much. This poor guy. Oh,
But-
alright.
So actually, Jellyfish Fields is a really good example of this. The original game's color palette is so much darker here compared to this, and I like this. Overall, I definitely prefer the way this looks over the original.
Well, your nose does look pretty big. Bigger than usual.
Unless you played the Switch version.
And you look clammy. And
Yeah, I mean, it functions. If it's your only option, there you go.
well, according to the Jellyfisher Field
I'm sorry,
But
like
yeah.
the downgrades are so obvious, at least when it comes to this game and the Switch. It's,
It used to be a lot worse because there was a bug that was introduced after one of the updates where sometimes a texture doesn't update, so it sticks with its like really gross, ugly, low resolution version. So you end up seeing these really gross, muddy textures. You can't even read signs anymore. And they fixed that since, but yeah, the Switch version still isn't great. Honestly, my biggest issue with it is the fact that it's unlocked. So you could potentially get 60 frames per second, but it usually hovers around 25 to 30. And I would have much preferred if they just locked it to 30.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is 60, like inside the museum in Rock Bottom, but usually no. Okay, those boxes, they're warps. Find another pair. If you find another box, you can warp to it. And it's a reference to the Imagination episode where SpongeBob and Patrick have fun inside of Squidward's TV box. And it's one of my favorite episodes, so I'm all for that reference.
Also, that line's funny if it is at the first spring breeze, but he says it so much when you play the game.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Yeah, that's an issue like most licensed games have, where characters will just repeat lines over and over. This feels good, by the way. Oh, another thing that they didn't really capture correctly. You see how you get combos there if you destroy enough objects in a short period of time? The combo ends off early compared to the original. The original, the highest combo is Super Ultra Mega Monster Combo. I think here is just Super Ultra Monster Combo. And
So that's
fall right out of the sky! Okay.
that's like an odd thing to leave out.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they just didn't catch that. Oh, I'm shocked I haven't mentioned this. The reason we're covering this now is because SpongeBob the Cosmic Shake just got its release date like a week ago, coming out at the end of January of 2023, which is only about a month away, and oh my god, I am so excited. I've been wanting a sequel to this game for so long, and shut up, no, the movie game is not a sequel, and I'm finally getting that, and it actually looks really good. It looks better than this game even.
I hope it's good for everyone that liked this game. Yeah.
Also, I'm man enough to admit this. The first trailer that had Sweet Victory in the background got me tearing up. The sequel to Battle for Bikini Bottom that has Sweet Victory? Come on, that's like scientifically engineered to get me to give out an emotional response.
You slept very happy that night.
I did. I was so happy that
You
day.
didn't cry tears away.
Yeah, I've been crying every night of my life because there hasn't been a sequel to this game. And it finally is. Okay, I'm kidding. That's Spyro 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's still tearing up a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And by the way, no, Enter the Dragonfly isn't Spyro 4. If Wrath of Cortex can get that title ripped away, so can Enter the Dragonfly.
Do it, Activision.
Gary, what's shaking?
Please.
Wow, a bungee jump for a golden special
I actually heard, like, I saw an article, like, there's, like, or, like, I think it was either a video title or article, like, they're, like, trying to prevent the Microsoft buyout with Activision right now.
Yeah, the FCC, yeah. It sounds like they're more open to it now for reasons I didn't look into because I don't care enough. I mean, like, honestly, I'm kind of indifferent to that. Mostly, the one thing I really hope is I hope it changes the way Activision runs. I don't want to get into it because this is a funny, happy SpongeBob video, but Activision is not known to be the best company to work for women, and I'm hoping Microsoft changes that. But that's like the only thing I really want out of this.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'm pretty sure their games are going to stay multiplat. At least Crash and Spyro, because if those games became exclusive to PC and Xbox, that would just be a terrible decision. Those games sell worse on those platforms. Why would they keep them there? Also, you can assault Bikini Bottomites whenever you want. It's wonderful.
I feel like a new sponge.
He's like, he's...
Yeah, get used to hearing that. So the robots in this game, they're fun. I like their designs a lot, and I like how most of them have. By the way, I tried doing a cut there. Can't. The game won't let me. Anyway, I like how most of them have a fun introduction cutscene to show you how they work. Like the hammer robot right there showed him smacking
okay.
the Bikini Bottomite with his ham. By the way, the original game was actually ham. In this, it's metal that's painted like ham, and that's lame.
So what are the points of these collectibles? Like red and blue ones and...
I mentioned this earlier. You give them to Mr. Krabs for golden spatulas, and
okay.
there's also throughout the game you'll find these clams that will basically act as barriers. They're basically functionally money bags from Spyro, so
Okay.
they're for both Mr. Krabs and that.
So the socks are a different collectible then. Those are like the blue coins.
Yeah, those are the.
But
blue
these
ones.
are just... Okay.
Yeah.
Fair
Yeah, and
enough.
also there isn't a finite amount of them. You can get as many you can get as many of them as you need,
Okay.
and you don't have to worry about collecting every single one you see.
And what are those for? The underpants?
Health.
Health? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Of course.
If you find gold underpants, it extends your health.
Yeah. Oh,
okay.
already saw one of those actually. It was on top of Squidward's house, and I didn't bring that up. I'm bad at this. I'm sorry.
Actually, that's one of the important ones, I think, is getting that first one. So it does come
Yeah.
in handy later.
Yeah, you can get a max of, I think, 7 pieces of underwear, and yeah, that definitely helps.
You can do this game easily with like 4 or 5.
Oh yeah, it's not a hard game. There's parts that are hard, but honestly, whenever it's hard, it's usually just because of tight platforming, not because of fighting or whatever.
Which will end up killing you instantly anyway. So.
Yeah. Also, another thing, I really like this game's music. It's very catchy. It fits SpongeBob super well. I'm a big fan. And they brought back the composers for Cosmic Shake, which blew my mind. Like, the amount of effort they're going through, and yeah. Oh, another small detail they omitted. The original game, there was an animation of them jumping out of the box. Here, they just kind of appear besides it.
Yeah.
Again, so lame. There's so many small things I don't like.
Yeah.
Any-
little things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I felt with the Superstar Saga remake on 3DS. Just little stuff.
I don't think this game has that problem to the same extent. That is a lot worse.
Yeah.
Oh, end of part.
Alright.
Quick and easy.
So, see you next time for more SpongeBob.
Yep. Bye.
See ya.
Bye. I'm bad at ending videos.